version of the Systems Don't Disturb This Groove, whew, sensational. I put that on my After Hours playlist because I'm telling you now, the way Mike Murphy and David Frank sang that song in 1987 is not the way Meshell Ndegeocello approaches it in 2018. And I'm going to tell you something. And I hope Mike and David don't get mad at me because I want them to come be guests on this show at some point if they happen to stumble upon this. But Meshell Ndegeocello's version of Don't Disturb This Groove, it's a masterpiece. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to day number 17 of the Black Music Month 30 series here on the Groove Line with your boy Chris Stevens. Hopefully you all are doing well out there. This is also day number 3 of our Pride Week acknowledgement and celebration, where we acknowledge and celebrate the contributions of LGBTQ Black musicians to the canon. And today I want to talk about one of my personal favorites with you guys, talking about Meshell Ndegeocello today, who does not get the credit she deserves for being one of the most influential musicians, Black or otherwise, of the 21st century. So just to start real quick, she was born Michelle Johnson to a military family. They ended up staying in DC. Putting roots down in DC, we'll say. And she got her start as a bassist on the go-go scene. She performed with RE, Rare Essence. If you're from DC, you know who Rare Essence is. And she was one of the first artists on Madonna's Maverick label. So Madonna knew talent. Granted, Madonna has her own interesting way of looking at the world, but she knew talent. And she signed Meshell Ndegeocello, and that's when the Plantation Lullabies album came out. I'll never forget the first time I saw the video for If That's Your Boyfriend, He Wasn't Last Night, because I was 12 years old in 7th grade, and you see this bald woman with a tank top and a sports bra just absolutely boom, boom, ba-da-doom, boom, 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 ba-da-doom, thumping it on the bass. And I'm like, well, wait, she looks like a lesbian, because at that time, we had started learning, different things about sexuality by, just by going through living in the city, going through neighborhoods, seeing what different people look like. I mean, you just knew that women dressed a certain way, and they were considered, the women who considered feminine, probably there's no way they could be considered lesbians, right? Right. So I mean, you get this bald-headed woman in a tank top and a sports bra, shredding it on the bass, and it's like, why is she talking about somebody's boyfriend? Well, Meshell is identified as bisexual. She gave birth to a baby. So clearly she has experience with men, but she's married to a woman now. And she once dated Alice Walker's daughter, Rebecca, for a period of time. So that was the first crash course, if you will, in gender and sexual fluidity, as it is for a 12-year-old. But yeah, my favorite song off that album is still my favorite Meshell Ndegeocello song of all time is Outside Your Door. I literally had it. I mean, because I was, again, in middle school, 7th grade. And when you find out that a girl that you think is just absolutely the bee's knees lives just a couple of blocks away, and you think that it's a good idea to stand outside her door and make your intentions known, this is a song for you. But I was talked out of it wisely by some older guys around the way. They were like, man, you just don't show up on nobody's doorstep like that. What if her pops answered the door? That might have a gun. It was 1994 after all, and that's when things in my hometown of Wilmington, Delaware started to kind of, take a turn for the worse. So I listened to the OGs, and I was smart enough to do, and I don't regret that decision for a minute, because that would have been really funny for me to be knocking on this girl's parents' door like, can I talk to so-and-so, please? It just wasn't a good idea. But that aside, Outside Your Door, it's a beautiful song. I mean, there's this little drum machine pattern. I don't know if it sounds like a really old drum machine, like the old rhythm box that Roland used to use. That little tap, 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 tap. And there's the keys. Dun, 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 dun. And there comes Meshell singing, here I sit outside your door, talk to me. And that's the extent of the singing she does on the song. She actually she actually talks about the rest of this at like a spoken word cadence. One day I've been sitting here for hours. One day I even sat through a rain shower. Like she's literally been sitting outside this person's door trying to get their attention. Like, she talking about listening to Billie Holiday records with them and all of that good stuff. It's a crush anthem. If you are well versed in having crushes on people, regardless of who you prefer, what your preferences are, who you ID as. Sometimes you just feel like, man, I just want to sit outside and wait for you to come outside so I can just like tell you how I feel about you. And every time I hear that song, it's almost like a comfort food of sorts. I mean, because if you've never felt that way about somebody, you're kind of missing out on the point of life, in my opinion. Like if you never just literally said, man, I'm just gonna sit here through this rain. I'm gonna bring my best music. You do want to talk to me. Okay, all right. So, let's talk. Let's go out. Let's go have coffee or something, that type of thing. Maybe, yeah, you just can't show up on people's doorsteps. I mean, in the 90s, it sounded like a good idea, but in 2026, not a good look. Especially if you're a man. I think women, and this isn't me, making it a gender a war of the sexes, because there's no such thing as a gender war, because there's only one side that's killing the other, and that's men killing women. Let's be clear about that. But I don't want to make this a gender war thing, but I think women probably would have a much better time, relating to other women in that respect. But as a dude showing up on a woman's doorstep unprompted, that is cause for concern. Absolutely is. But yes, Outside Your Door is my favorite Meshell Ndegeocello song. And, she's done some really good stuff. She did the theme song for Queen Sugar, Nova, which is a fun record. I mean, it's not a fun record, but I mean, it sets the tone for that series. I mean, because if you never read the book, I highly recommend you read the book first before you check out Queen Sugar, the series, if you haven't already. That is one of my highest recs. Always read the book of something before you watch the movie or the television show. That is always going to be my rec as a writer. And when I say rec, I mean recommendation. That's just shorthand for recommendation. But yes, always read the book of something before you watch the TV series or the movie. Just my take on that matter. But yeah, she also did an album in 2008 called Ventriloquism, where she took on a lot of 80s and 90s stuff and kind of turned them into standards. Like her version of The System's Don't Disturb This Groove. Whew, sensational. I put that on my After Hours playlist because I'm telling you now, the way Mike Murphy and David Frank sang that song in 1987 is not the way Meshell Ndegeocello approaches it in 2018. And I'm going to tell you something. And I hope Mike and David don't get mad at me, because I want them to come be guests on this show at some point if they happen to stumble upon this. But Meshell Ndegeocello's version of Don't Disturb This Groove, it's a masterpiece. It's absolutely a masterpiece. And I'm not saying the System's version isn't, because, well, that was one of the first records I remember singing at the top of my lungs at 5 and 6 years old. But the way Meshell Ndegeocello approaches it, oh man, if you put it on your After Hours playlist. But don't call me if y'all end up making a baby. Well, I mean, for my LGBTQ friends, it's unlikely that you will. But for my cis hetero friends, if you put Don't Disturb This Group by Meshell Ndegeocello version on your playlist and you make a baby, don't call me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I just made the suggestion. What y'all did after that, that's between you two. My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. But yes, Meshell Ndegeocello, an incredible bassist. She also played guitar. She also plays keyboards. There's this incredible version of her in Montreux Jazz Fest, just killing it on the bass. I can't remember the song that she was playing, but you can find it easily on YouTube. And she's just absolutely a phenomenal bass player. One of the best. Like I said, she doesn't get enough credit. When we talk about James Jamerson, we talk about Larry Graham, Nate Watts, Marcus Miller, some greats, some absolute greats. But I don't think Meshell Ndegeocello gets enough credit for being in that class with those gentlemen. Is it because she's a black woman? Is it because she's a queer black woman? Possibly. But you put her next to Nate Watts, he'll be amazed. You put her next to Marcus Miller, he'll be amazed. Jamerson's no longer with us, but if you put her and James Jamerson in the same room, they would probably have a lot in common. So Meshell Ndegeocello, they credit her. Again, she's also credited as one of the first neo soul artists. And as we have come to find out, a lot of people don't like to identify that style as neo soul. So we'll just call it contemporary soul on this channel from this point forward. And she was one of the ones, man. I mean, you think about it. You think about that period in 93, 94, 95. You had Meshell Ndegeocello. You had D'Angelo coming on the scene. You had the Roots, who were a hip hop band, but they still were very much outside of what we would consider contemporary, popular hip hop. Then, you get later on into the 90s, you get, you know, soundtracks like the Have Plenty soundtrack, you the Love Jones soundtrack, Maxwell. Then early 2000, that's where Philly comes in. Big up Philly. You got Jill, you got music, you got Aries, you got Flowetry. Meshell Ndegeocello precedes all of them, and she deserves her flowers for whatever you want to call this contemporary soul jazz thing that people like to call neo soul. And then discovering that D'Angelo didn't like the term neo soul was like, well, damn, I get it though. But I get it. But yes, Meshell Ndegeocello, definitely an artist you should check out if you haven't already. Like I said, please go listen to the ventriloquism album. You will be amazed at her take on songs like Don't Disturb This Groove, Tender Love by Force MDs, I Wonder If I Take You Home by Lisa Lisa and Nicole Jam, and a couple other, classics that we know of from the 80s and 90s on that album. And again, Plantation Lullabies was the first one. She actually was nominated for a Grammy for a song called Leviticus F Word. And not FU, but FA. Yeah. I'm not going to say that word on this channel because it's probably a copyright strike, but just because, I don't feel comfortable saying that word. But yes, she was nominated for a Grammy for that song, Leviticus F Word. Now I'll let you figure out the other portion of it and check it out for yourself. But yeah, if just go listen to it. I mean, she's got a catalog, man. She's won a Grammy Award 3 of the last 5 years. She won a Jazz Album of the Year award for her, dedication to James Baldwin. She won another one for another jazz album in 2024 and another one in 2021. It's so funny because she was nominated for a Grammy 10 times prior and just now winning 3 of them. And I know we have our feelings about the Grammys as Black people and music fans and Black music fans, is that, okay, the Grammys can be kind of snobbish towards Black artists, but I still think, I mean, this is just me, but I don't think wanting a Grammy or accepting a Grammy takes away from your art. Like, it doesn't mean that a Grammy doesn't define you, it doesn't confirm you, it doesn't validate you, but it's still a nice little piece to have on your mantle. And Meshell Ndegeocello has 3 of them things in the last 5 years. So people are starting to catch up. I mean, she's been in the business for almost 40 years, for crying out loud, but people are starting to catch up on the genius that she is. And again, I think she gets left out of a lot of these genius musician conversations because she is a queer Black woman. But if you just listen to the music, take all of that up. I mean, she even said it herself. Music is the only time she feels genderless and colorless. She said that for a Rolling Stone piece a while back, I believe. And I think it's unfortunate she feels that way, but I kind of get it because I mean, she's pretty much a gay Black woman, has been for her entire life, and people just have not been quick to give her the credit she deserves for being a dynamite musician and a trendsetter. And that's why I highly recommend you put some Meshell Ndegeocello into your playlist at some point. This is why we do these things here on the Groove Line. We hip you to stuff that you may not know, or we remind you of stuff that you may have forgotten. And that's going to do it for day number 17 of the Black Music Month 30 series here on the Groove Line. Greatly appreciate you wonderful people for tuning in. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that notification bell so you're notified of all new videos that drop on this channel. And don't forget to like and comment on these videos because as you know by now, your boy talks back in the comments. So thank you guys for riding with me on the Groove Line. 17 days down, 13 to go. And until the next time we ride, may you find the groove, or may the groove find you.